Today we visit Oregon Garden, located in Silverton, Oregon, known as the Gateway to Silver Falls. Located on the banks of the Silver River, this burgeoning community is known for its cafes, restaurants, and shops, as well as having a deep sense of community. Oregon Gardens is an 80-acre botanical garden featuring more than 20 specialty gardens showcasing the diverse botanical beauty that can be found in the Willamette Valley and throughout the Pacific Northwest. It hosts one of the largest collections of miniature conifers in the country in its conifer garden. Also of note is its wetlands habitat, which cools the city of Silverton's treated wastewater through a series of pools and brims with local wildlife. The garden also promotes sustainability through green roofs, composting, and edible landscaping. Today we meet Ty Boland, the garden's botanical curator, to take a behind-the-scenes look at this amazing garden.
Texture.
Bees have been in the news a lot lately, and of course, for very good reason. The pollinators are responsible for the lion's share of our food supply.
Absolutely.
And so as we see things like, hive collapse going on, it's something that we should be very concerned about. And as gardeners, just the importance of bees, the role that they play in the garden, and of course, it's so cool to see one up close and personal. My dad had multiple beehives growing up, and so these are very active, happy hives. Tell me a little about them.
About 4 years ago, we decided that we wanted an apiary display out here specifically for this, those reasons. I mean, we're, a botanical garden. We're open to the public. Where our job is to educate people about all things gardening. And one of the most important things about gardening is the pollinators, be it bees, be it anything else. And so to have this display out here was really interesting. We experimented with sourcing broodstock and some queens from kind of all over the place, primarily in California, which is, where we were sourcing them, is say 1,000, 2,000 miles away from us. Well, 1,000 miles. Two of the hives that we have back here were actually sourced on site. We found some big swarms.
Wow.
And, obviously they were doing very well, in our area, and so they swarmed, and then they left to find a new home, and they're doing great. And so for anybody out there that's interested in starting hives, I would definitely say, there's all kinds of resources as far as the materials and how to handle them. But, make sure that you are sourcing your brood stock and your queens from a local areas. I mean, most everybody, most every state has an apiary society, and a lot of times they're affiliated with like the land-grant university of that area. So a lot of resources out there.
That with each pond, there's, there are plants there that are soaking up whether heavy metals, etc., what might be in the water, and then also just natural settling that occurs in each pool, right?
Absolutely. So, this is a man-made wetland, and it is a tool, and the plant material that we have out here, all of it is a tool. It was all put here for a purpose. A lot of the large trees are going to help shade these ponds because, as I mentioned, the water was a little bit too warm. And then there was some thought about the plant material. Obviously, native things like cattails and whatnot, they have large roots, a lot of carbo storage, and those will help to mitigate any of the, like high nutrient loads or some metals, as well as arrowroot or wapato, which was actually a very important carbohydrate source for the native people that lived in this area.